Spec Ops: The Line. When you think of military shooters, you probably picture bombastic action and clear-cut heroes. Spec Ops: The Line flips that script with a story that's as unsettling as it is profound. Set in a sandstorm-ravaged Dubai, play as Captain Martin Walker, leading a squad to investigate a distress signal. What starts as a routine mission spirals into a psychological descent, forcing you to confront the moral cost of war. The game's narrative, inspired by Heart of Darkness, doesn't glorify combat but dissects it, presenting choices that feel like traps. Each decision, like whether to save civilians or prioritize your mission, carries weight, often leaving you questioning your own morality. The game's gritty realism and unreliable narrator twist keep you off balance. While its commentary on heroism and violence hits hard, it's not about winning. It's about surviving your own choices. Spec Ops: The Line is a gut punch that lingers, making you rethink what games can say about the human condition. Tales from the Borderlands is a narrative gem that sneaks under the radar, overshadowed by its action-heavy Borderlands siblings. This Telltale Games spin-off blends sharp humor, heartfelt moments, and a heist-driven plot on the chaotic planet of Pandora. You follow Reese, a Hyperion corporate schemer, and Fiona, a con artist, as their paths collide in a race for a vault. Rich as the story thrives on their unlikely partnership, packed with witty banter and genuine character growth. Choices shape the narrative, from alliances to betrayals, making every decision feel personal. The game's strength lies in its vibrant cast, like the lovable Loader Botan, its ability to balance comedy with emotional stakes. It explores themes of loyalty, greed, and redemption without preaching, all while delivering a visually distinct, cel-shaded adventure. Criminally overlooked, Tales from the Borderlands proves you don't need guns blazing to tell a gripping story in a chaotic universe. Lost Odyssey is a JRPG masterpiece that never got its due, drowned out by Final Fantasy's Shadow. Set in a world where magic and technology clash, it follows Kain, an immortal warrior haunted by 1,000 years of memories. The story unfolds through his fragmented past, revealed in beautifully written 1,000 Years of Dreams, vignettes, short stories that hit like emotional sledgehammers. These explore love, loss, and the weight of immortality, making Kain's journey deeply human despite his eternal life. The ensemble cast, from a brash sorceress to a grieving queen, adds layers to the narrative, tackling themes of family and sacrifice. The game's plot weaves personal stories with an epic war against a malevolent force. Balancing intimate moments with grand stakes, its emotional depth, paired with a sweeping soundtrack and innovative combat, makes Lost Odyssey a hidden classic that deserves more love for its unforgettable storytelling. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a narrative puzzle game that's as clever as it is overlooked. You play as Sissel, a ghost who wakes up dead with no memory of his past, tasked with solving his own murder in one night. The story unfolds through time-bending mechanics where you possess objects to manipulate events, saving lives and unraveling a conspiracy. Written by Shu Takumi, the mind behind Ace Attorney, it's packed with sharp dialogue, quirky characters, and plot twists that keep you guessing. Each chapter peels back layers of a mystery involving betrayal, loyalty, and redemption, all delivered with a vibrant animated art style. The game's charm lies in its balance of humor, like the antics of a missile-obsessed dog and emotional gut punches, especially as Sissel's identity comes into focus. Ghost tricks, innovative storytelling, and heartfelt moments make it a hidden gem that deserves more spotlight. 13 Sentinels: Aegis Rim is a narrative juggernaut that blends sci-fi, time travel, and human drama in a way few games dare. You follow 13 teenagers in 1980s Japan, each with interlocking stories that span decades. Weaving through a mech-driven apocalypse, the plot jumps between eras, unraveling a complex web of clones, AI, and kaiju invasions. Vanillaware's masterpiece shines through its non-linear storytelling, letting you piece together the puzzle via character-driven vignettes. Each protagonist, from a lovesick schoolgirl to a grizzled soldier, feels distinct, with choices shaping their bonds and the larger mystery. The game tackles themes of identity, sacrifice, and humanity's resilience, all while maintaining a gripping pace. Its stunning 2D art and haunting soundtrack amplify the emotional weight. 13 Sentinels is a bold, underrated epic that rewards patience with a story that's as intricate as it is unforgettable. Jade Empire, BioWare's lesser-known RPG, crafts a rich story steeped in martial arts and mythology, often eclipsed by their bigger hits. Set in a fantasy world inspired by ancient China, you play a martial artist destined to confront an empire's corruption. The narrative blends action with moral choices, letting you shape your path as a noble hero or ruthless anti-hero. Its open-palm, closed-fist philosophy drives decisions, affecting alliances and outcomes in a world of spirits, demons, and political intrigue. The cast, like the roguish Sky or wise monk Zhu, brings humor and depth, while the lore rooted in Chinese mythology feels alive and immersive. Jade Empire's story explores power, loyalty, and redemption, with twists that challenge your perception of good and evil. Despite its dated visuals, its ambitious narrative and unique setting make it a standout that deserves rediscovery for its bold, character-driven tale. The Cat Lady is a psychological horror adventure that tackles heavy themes with unflinching honesty. Yet it remains criminally underappreciated. You play Susan Ashworth, a depressed woman given a chance at rebirth after a suicide attempt, tasked by a mysterious entity to kill parasites who prey on the vulnerable. The story dives deep into mental illness, trauma, and survival, blending gritty realism with surreal horror. Its branching narrative, shaped by your choices, explores Susan's fractured psyche and her bonds with others, like the quirky Mitzi. The game's lo-fi art and eerie soundtrack amplify its unsettling vibe, while its raw depiction of human suffering and resilience hits hard. The Cat Lady doesn't shy away from darkness, but finds hope in unexpected places, making its story a haunting personal journey that lingers long after the credits roll. Disco Elysium is a narrative triumph that redefines what RPGs can do, yet it's often overlooked in mainstream gaming circles. You play a disgraced detective in the crumbling city of Revachol, piecing together a murder case while battling your own demons, addiction, memory loss, and existential despair. The game's story is a masterclass in player agency, with a system that lets you shape your character's ideology, from communist firebrand to broken humanist. Every choice, from interrogating suspects to wrestling with your psyche, feels consequential, unraveling a web of political intrigue, class struggle, and personal redemption. The writing is dense, poetic, and darkly funny, brought to life by a cast of flawed, unforgettable characters like your pragmatic partner, Kim Kitsur. Its watercolor art and haunting score amplify the atmosphere. Disco Elysium's exploration of identity, failure, and hope is raw and profound, making it a must-play for anyone who craves stories that challenge and linger. Alan Wake is a psychological thriller disguised as an action game, and its gripping story deserves far more praise. You play Alan Wake, a best-selling author trapped in the eerie town of Bright Falls, where his horror novels are coming to life. The narrative blends Stephen King's supernatural dread with a meta-commentary on storytelling itself, as Alan battles shadowy enemies and searches for his missing wife. The plot unfolds like a TV series, complete with episodic pacing and collectible manuscript pages that deepen the mystery. The game's strength lies in its atmosphere, foggy forests, flickering lights, and its exploration of creativity, fear, and sacrifice. Choices, while subtle, shape Alan's resolve and relationships, making the story feel personal. Despite its cult following, Alan Wake's nuanced narrative, rich with literary references and emotional weight, remains underappreciated. A shining example of how games can weave complex, haunting tales. Luigi's Mansion, often overshadowed by Mario's adventures, delivers a surprisingly heartfelt and spooky story wrapped in a ghost-hunting package. You control Luigi, the timid younger brother, as he explores a haunted mansion to rescue Mario from spectral clutches. The narrative is light but brimming with charm, leaning on Luigi's underdog persona, novice yet determined to drive emotional stakes. Each ghostly encounter, from mischievous poltergeists to tragic spirits, reveals snippets of the mansion's eerie history, blending humor with subtle melancholy. The game's strength is its atmosphere. Creaky floors, flickering candles, and a quirky soundtrack create a haunted house vibe that's more Tim Burton than jump scare horror. Luigi's growth from coward to hero, paired with clever environmental storytelling, makes the journey resonate. Though dismissed as a quirky side game, Luigi's Mansion crafts a compact, evocative tale that proves even light-hearted stories can leave a lasting impression. And that's our list of the 10 most underrated storylines in games. These titles show that incredible narratives don't always need the biggest budgets or loudest hype, they just need heart, creativity, and a willingness to take risks. If any of these stories piqued your interest, dust off those consoles or fire up your PC and give them a shot. What's your favorite underrated game story? Drop it in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.